The Knicks are making moves. We have a huge update on New York's plans for that final roster spot. TJ Warren seems like the most likely candidate to earn that final spot on the main team. We're also going to take a look at Chuma Okeke and his latest performance in the G League. He has been going off, and New York must find a way to add him to this roster. He is a game changer. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And make sure you have notifications turned on. So anytime we drop new content, you get notified. And now, let's get started. The Knicks are planning a huge roster decision. Finally, I feel like I have been saying for months now that the Knicks have the necessary talent to add to this roster on their G League squad. And the only thing they have to do is call them up. And now it seems like New York is finally ready to make that move. And one of the first players that are likely going to be added to this team is TJ Warren. But when are the Knicks going to make that move? When is New York going to add TJ to this team? Well, thanks to Ian Begley, we finally have those updates. Let's go ahead and break down these latest reports. Ian Begley on what player will likely be added to New York with their final roster spot. According to him, TJ Warren definitely impressed the Knicks in camp, and obviously he's been playing well with the Westchester Knicks. I would certainly be keeping an eye on him when they go to add that 15th player, and I think they ultimately will. Begley had on cap expert Yossi Goslin via his putback show recently. Goslin helped reveal when New York will likely make this move to add TJ Warren to the roster. According to him, if New York doesn't reduce their payroll with any trade at this point, I think they should be able to sign someone as early as late February, early March to get to that 15th roster spot. By then, the buyout market should already play out. Shout out to Ian Begley and Yossi Goslin for giving us the following updates about the Knicks and potentially when they're going to add TJ Warren to this team. It was only a matter of time. I knew the Knicks were going to fill up that final roster spot. And I always thought that when the Knicks were going to do that, they were going to look at their Westchester team. Because right now, their Westchester team is balling out. They have a number of players, not only TJ Warren, but a number of players on that team that if the Knicks wanted, they could call up to the main club and they could have an impact off the bench. But TJ, by far, among all of the players out there, he is a vet. He is playing very well. He can rebound the ball. He can score in bunches. One of the best scorers in the G League right now. And that will be something he can translate in the NBA. He's already a great NBA player. We all remember what he did in the bubble a few years ago. If he's healthy, I think he can do the exact same thing. Maybe even have a greater impact. All he needs is the minutes and an opportunity to shine. And off the bench for New York, considering the fact the Knicks bench right now, in terms of scoring, is last in the league, we could use somebody like TJ Warren who gives you size, gives you rebounding, gives you a little bit of defense, but if given the opportunity, could give you offense as well too, could give you great scoring. And if nobody has it on the bench and we're running 5 bench players out there, I know, think about that. Imagine if Tom Thibodeau did that. You're going to need a scorer out there. If you have a player like TJ Warren, again, a vet, Tom Thibodeau would trust him, he would give him the ball, and potentially he would run plays for him because he's not a normal rookie. He's not a young player. He's already had success in the NBA. The only thing that's held him back is injuries. Now, it looks like he's fully healthy. A fully healthy TJ Warren. If you're able to add him at basically a very low cost to this team without having to give up any assets, it's basically like making a trade at the deadline without making that trade. TJ is that level of talent. And if the Knicks are considering adding him to this team, then they know that as well too. And thanks to Goslin, we know that move is likely going to happen at the end of February, early March. I hope and pray that the Knicks have no competition in adding TJ Warren to their team because nobody in the NBA is blind. Everybody sees what he's doing right now, and a lot of teams, contending teams, could use that firepower off the bench, including the Knicks. That's why I'm hoping as soon as the Knicks can sign him, they do, and they add him to this team. The only thing that we're waiting on right now is for the Knicks to make that move. But let's say New York can't make that move, or they're too late to do it and another team signs TJ. What are the Knicks going to do? The good news here, like I said earlier, the Knicks have so much talent in Westchester. If it's not TJ Warren, it could be another player. And in my opinion, if it's not TJ, the next player they should be looking at is Chuma Okeke. And if you don't believe me, if you don't understand why, take a look at what he just did in the G League today. He went off. He's a game changer. And this is why. Chuma Okeke, 30 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 7 3-pointers made. Now, that graphic on the right-hand side of this image, which says Chuma flirts with a quadruple double, that's not this game. Actually, that's another game, and that goes to proving my point. He is not just a one-game type of performance. You're not going to see this one game and never again. If you look at his stats in the G League, if you look at what he's been doing since arriving in Westchester for the Knicks in the G League, he has been putting up numbers like this all season long. And at this point, it's clear he needs to be signed. He needs to be added to a team. He is a young, athletic, very gifted wing. He is 6'7", so clearly he can fit on any roster right now, and he's a 3-and-D player. What does Tom Thibodeau love? What does Tom Thibodeau really want on this team? More players that can score, play defense, and have size. Chuma gives you all of that and so much more. The Knicks need to sign him. They need to get him on this team, and they need to make sure he is the player that's on this roster as they head into the postseason. Because I'm telling you right now, if you want to copy a player like Josh Hart, Chuma Okeke is extremely similar. And he's a little bit taller as well, too. He gives you all of that. He does just a little bit of everything if he's given the opportunity. Coming off the bench for New York, playing 20 to 25 minutes off the bench for New York. I promise you, the numbers you're seeing here, they may not be the exact same numbers. They may not be similar, but you know what? A lot of what he does, it will convert on the NBA level. Those threes, they'll convert. The way he scores inside and outside, that will convert. But the biggest thing, his defense, his defensive habits, all of those things will convert to the NBA level in an amazing way. And under the tutelage of head coach Tom Thibodeau, he is going to blossom. He's going to get even better. He's going to become a better player. And if the Knicks are able to add that guy to this team and develop him even more, moving forward, they're going to have a deadly weapon off their bench, a wing that you can put into the game for minutes for Mikal Bridges, for minutes for OG Anunoby, and he can have an impact on both sides of the floor. And not only that, if you add him to this team, he's barely going to cost you anything. Another main reason why the Knicks should do this. If the Knicks wait and they don't make this move, they don't add Chuma to this team, another team will do it. And the only way I can see the Knicks pulling this off is if they trade Jericho Sims for either a second-round pick or a couple of second-round picks. If they do that, they free up a roster spot and they free up some cap space. And then all you have to do is pick up the phone and make another call to Westchester and call another player up. And that player should be Chuma Okeke. And then at that point, you'll have added 2 players, TJ Warren and Chuma Okeke. They give you size. They give you scoring. They give you defense. They give you rebounding. And they're Tom Thibodeau players. And that's all you can ask for at this point. And you're adding them at a very low cost. What type of move does that sound like? Let's see here. Oh, Leon Rose. Leon does not like to make the flashy moves all the time. He likes to make the low-cost moves first. And if they're available, he's going to pull those moves off. Right now, TJ and Chuma, they're available. They help this team. They're low cost. And all the Knicks have to do is just pick up the phone and make the call. And I'm just looking at Leon Rose and this Knicks front office to start making those moves. And I think as we get closer to the trade deadline, you'll start to see the dominoes fall and Leon start to execute those moves. But what about you guys? What do you think about the following reports indicating that the Knicks are likely going to add TJ Warren to their team with their final roster spot? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.